is up, guys? Welcome back to another Pokemon Sun and Moon Wi-Fi battle. Today I've got a match in which I'm trying out a pretty fun team here. So this is a Trick Room team, and if you know me, I don't really mess around with Trick Room a whole lot, but with this generation came a lot of slow Pokemon, and it really opened the door for a lot of opportunities to exploit Trick Room. So this is a pretty fun team in which I'm kind of just trying to test some stuff out, and let's go ahead and hop into it here. I noticed that my opponent is running the Zygarde dog form, which is interesting, and I've never seen that before, but I expected him to lead off with his Necrozma, so I'm just going to lead off with my Porygon 2. He doesn't really have a whole lot on me, and I'm expecting him to probably just go for the Stealth Rock turn 1. So Virus here is going to go ahead and download some special attack, which is pretty damn nice, as I'm just going to go for the Trick Room on the first turn here, as he actually just goes for the Stealth Rock as I expected. Generally, when you see these things, they're honestly just usually leads with Stealth Rock. So I go for the Trick Room, and right off the bat, I'm just going to go ahead and start off with switching the dimensions up. So even though I would be faster here, I do decide to switch out into my Marowak just because I don't want to take a Brick Break on Porygon 2, so that was actually what I was predicting, although he predicted a Tri-Attack, I'm assuming, and goes into an Alolan Marowak of his own, which is kind of funny because now we just got both of our Marowaks out here. His is purple, so his looks a little cooler, but here I'm guessing he predicts the Bone Meringue or the Earthquake, and he's now going to go into the Pelipper, as I actually just ended up going for the Shadow Bone. So Raindrop, Drop Top, going to go ahead and set up the Drizzle, as the Shadow Bone is going to do a lot of damage here. Plus, with the Trick Room up, I am actually going to be able to be faster than this thing. So the Twisted Dimensions are really starting to pay dividends, and that's pretty awesome. He could switch out here. I was actually thinking he was probably going to want to switch out here and try to save the Pelipper for later with the rain support for his Kingdra, but he's actually just going to let that thing go down. Maybe he didn't realize that he was going to be faster than me, so I was going to be able to outspeed with the Trick Room, but yeah, so now he's going to bring back out New Gender, as I actually have no reason to switch out here, so I'm just going to stay in, be faster, go for the Shadow Bone. Unfortunately, it's not going to quite kill that thing, but he's going to now go for the Dark Pulse, and check this out, my Marowak does have special defense investment, and I'm actually able to live that, which is amazing. So unfortunately here, the Twisted Dimensions are going to return to normal, so he will be faster than me. So I do want to save my Marowak for later. It's looking like it might be pretty useful. So here I decide to switch into my Magearna, as he actually just goes for the Psychic, which really is not going to do a whole lot to me. I do resist that. So Ballin like Magearna over here, going to go ahead and eat that up, as at this point, I decide to go for the prediction and expect him to bring in the Marowak against my Magearna. I could have gone for the Trick Room, which I probably should have, but I kind of just figured he was going to go ahead and switch into that Marowak, seeing as I don't really have much to hit him with, plus he could just destroy me with a fire attack. Even though the rain's up, I guess, I don't know, but I decide to switch into Wishy-Washy, expecting the Marowak to come out. Squad Goals comes out, getting the squad together. Gonna go ahead and activate the Schooling, as he actually just ended up staying in here. So he was gonna just sack off the Necrozma, as he goes for a Hidden Power. I'm assuming it was Hidden Power Fire, seeing as it doesn't, not very effective on Wishy-Washy. And now the rain is gonna go away. So at least I got my big ass submarine fish out here at this point. And unfortunately, he's actually going to be faster than me, and that allows him to go for a Psychic, and that's just whittling down Wishy-Washy, who does not really enjoy taking attacks, because obviously my ability, when it runs out, I'm just going to be a little tiny ass fish that's not going to do a whole lot. So I go for the U-turn, and I kind of expected that to kill, although it's not quite going to knock him out. I don't have attack investment, it's basically just there for a pivot, but I now decide to switch into my Guzzlord. So he's named Buffet because this man just be hitting the Buffet way too much. Look at how fat this damn thing is, my god. But this Necrozma will be able to outspeed me, but I'm assuming he doesn't really have a whole lot to hit me with, as he actually ends up switching out, and he's going to bring out the Dog Zygarde, which is the Zygarde 10% form. So he's going to go ahead and activate the Aura Break or whatever. I go for the Dark Pulse here, and I make another risky prediction here. So that's not quite going to knock this thing out, and I know that I'll die to a Dragon Move or an Outrage or whatever, but I expect him to expect me to switch into Magearna, who is Fairy type, therefore expecting him to go into the Marowak. Trying to get the matchup against Magearna. I actually just decided to stay in and go for the Dark Pulse, which was amazing because it actually worked out for me, and down goes the Marowak, who could have definitely caused some problems. That's now going to give me a Beast Boost, and I'm just out here ready to hit the damn Buffet. We are eating out here. So now he doesn't really have much of a choice other than to go back into the Zygarde, and I feel like he's just going to go straight for the Dragon move, not trying to risk any predictions. So I make another prediction, and I just decide to go into Magearna here this time, and I'm able to block the Dragon move. So I bring back out my weird little bunny in a Pokeball thingy, and he actually does end up going just straight for the Outrage, which does not affect me, obviously, because I'm Fairy type and Steel type. So that is pretty damn awesome. I've actually never used a Magearna before, and this was like my second match with it. I think this thing's pretty freaking sweet. So he cannot stay in here. Obviously, I'm assuming he might be some type of choice, but he's going to bring back out the Necrozma, who actually should be dead by now, but this is going to allow me to go for another Trick Room, which is awesome because now I'm pretty much going to be faster than everything on his team except for the Drampa. I honestly didn't even think about the fact that he does still have a Drampa around who is really naturally slow, and they don't obviously have really much speed investment a lot of the time, so he will be able to outspeed me with that thing. But I am able to outspeed the Necrozma, and finally that thing goes down. That thing should have been dead like hours ago, but it's finally gone. That's now going to give me a Soul Heart, which is going to raise my special attack, and that is pretty freaking sweet. So now he doesn't really have much of a choice other than to just bring in his Drampa. So he brings out PK the God, who's looking nice and shiny, all orange and pretty sweet looking. Honestly, his pink eyes are kind of scary, but he is going to be able to be faster than me because of the Trick Room. He does have Flamethrower, although Magearna is a freaking beast, and I'm able to take that really nicely, and a Dazzling Gleam in return is almost going to be able to take this thing out. It is going to be able to live that, even with my Soul Heart, but that's going to give him Berserk, and he will be able to take me out with a Flamethrower here this next turn. But I was like, no, I can't let Magearna die because this thing's too badass. So after the leftovers, I decided to actually switch into my Marowak, who I've been saving in the back of my team. I know that there is Stealth Rock up, so I'm going to die immediately, but that is going to allow me to just basically get a free switch into whatever I want against this here Drampa. So Marowak is going to go down, but, you know, saved pretty well for Death Fodder, as Flamethrower is not going to hit anything. His Flamethrower is some air right there. And now I bring out Overcompensating. This is my Alolan Executor, who seems to be overcompensating for something. I don't know, man. He's got a short tail, big long neck, like guys with big trucks or whatever. But yeah, so luckily Executor is naturally slower than Drampa. With the Trick Room up, that is going to allow me to actually be faster, and a Dragon Hammer kills that thing. And now the dimensions return back to normal, but the damage has pretty much already been done, and he brings out the Zygarde yet again, who is going to be able to kill me. So I actually decided to switch out here and just go into my Wishy-Washy, who I know will probably die to whatever this thing sends at me. So tiny ass little fish is actually just going to stay tiny, as he goes for the 1,000 arrows, which is a pretty damn badass move. I've never even seen that thing in action before. I do got to actually look into using one of these Zygardes. They're pretty freaking sweet. But now I'm just going to go back into my Porygon 2, who is at full health, and I know I'll be able to take pretty much any attack from this thing. Plus my plan is to be able to get up the Trick Room yet again, because he does still have a Kingdra left on his team who could potentially cause some problems. I would like to just be faster than that thing. So he goes for the 1,000 arrows. I'm able to eat that up really nicely because Porygon 2 is just way too damn bulky unless you get a knockoff on this thing. So I go for the Trick Room. That's going to stay up for the rest of the match here. And I'm now just going to go ahead and outspeed this thing now, because the Trick Room and an Ice Beam is going to take care of the good Doge. So getting that last Trick Room up there was actually really crucial, considering I really only have Executor to take care of the Kingdra. So I would have been naturally slower, but thanks to the old Trick Room, I should be good. So I am able to go for an Ice Beam, get a little bit of damage off on this thing before I die. And he just goes for a Hydro Pump, which I was actually expecting to not be able to take, but I'm able to live that with 8 HP, which is kind of funny. And one more Ice Beam is going to whittle this thing down to the point where Executor's job should be pretty damn easy. So he's going to finish me off with one more Hydro Pump, which he actually hits, which surprisingly, he hit 2 of those babies in a row, which is kind of sweet. But now at this point, all I really have to do is bring out my tall-ass Executor. You can't even see this thing's head in the battlefield. Like, what's the deal with that? But get hurt by a little bit of Stealth Rock, and luckily I'm able to be faster thanks to the Trick Room yet again, and a Dragon Hammer is going to finish off the Kingdra. So that is going to be the end of the match there. I thought that was a pretty fun one. I'm having a fun time with these theme kind of teams, so I don't know. I thought that was pretty cool. I've never really messed around with Trick Room before. I have a couple times in the past, but not a whole lot. So I think that was pretty new to me and really interesting. So go ahead and hit that like button if you enjoyed, guys. I really appreciate it, and subscribe for more Wi-Fi battles. Peace out.